Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? Um, I was about to say I am here on time. Gene. Oh, well, thank you. And you get to be the first, so you always get credit for being the first. Hello, Selena. Hello, 4M, Nero, Prima. How are you doing? Oh, glad you're here. Gina, Charles, Alpha, how you doing? So, hope everybody's having a great week so far. I know it's coming up on the weekend again. It's getting a little colder out, which is nice. Wanted to let you guys know I do have locals set up. Have started putting some things up there so far. Go check it out. Like I put on the community page. If you want to see a tour of the hollowed studio, you can see it. um, okay, good. I got it. Perfect. Okay, hold on here. Let me get that set. Oh gosh, there's so much crap to get ready. There's so much to talk about tonight. It's actually been a busy and interesting week. Um, one second, guys. Sorry, having a technical difficulty. Sorry, guys, fixing this up. And all right, sorry about that. We're all done. So I'm back. I'm back. Um, yes, that's a great way to do that one from now on too. Oh, Prima, you're asking what is the plane over my shoulder? That is a 727. Very old school. Technical difficulty likely. Hey, there's nothing wrong with digging for gold as long as you share it with everybody. But anyways, wow, everybody's here. Matthew, how you doing? Jim. Okay. Oh, I forgot. I need to pull up the chat in a non. There we go. Okay, fixed it. Fixed it. God damn, I'm messing this up tonight. All right. Parallax took 0 minutes on the boomer strike tonight. I didn't boomer strike anything. Not yet, at least. Anyways, guys, it's 5 minutes in, so I guess we're ready. Guess we'll get started. Start with what I think is probably one of the more interesting. It's been 0. You know, jeez, it has not been that long. Now, if you're counting when I'm on someone else's show, sure, but me, no, I've been doing pretty good lately. Doing pretty good. So, the first one I thought it was hilarious is this. So, a University of Utah student was threatened for making a nuclear threat at a football game. Uh, and you heard that right. Yes. He made a threat about using nuclear weapons. We're not going to listen to the a bomb threat. Yes. Yeah, one really bomb threat. So anyway, a University of Utah student was arrested after he alleged to threaten to detonate a nuclear reactor if the University of Utah did not win its football game. And the student used Yik Yak to post the threat of violence. I mean, geez Louise. I think it's funny because she says if Utah didn't win the football game, she was going to detonate a nuclear reactor that is located in the University of Utah, causing a mass destruction. Now they claim that the student knew where the nuclear reactor is stored on campus and that she attends class in the same building. Yeah, I'm betting it's a science building. But how is she going to destroy the nuclear reactor? Like, what is she going to do to it? That's like if she said, I'm going to collapse one of the dorms. Or I don't just, there's got to be some level of, I get the idea that if you make a threat, you have to listen to it, but there's some level of plausibility. Otherwise, it becomes farcical. I'm going to cause a nuclear reactor to melt down. How would you even know how to do that? Most nuclear reactors are built now to be what are called fourth generation. They could run themselves and shut down on their own, and that you don't even need water to run through them. They self regulate. So this idea that you can, it was just stupid as shit. Now I get the school saying the nuclear reactor, they have zero tolerance for threats. Okay, but zero tolerance, you know what zero tolerance leads to? You don't have to. Why do I have these on? I'm an idiot. All zero tolerance leads to is zero thought. Because if it's zero tolerance, you don't have to think about it. You just do it. You don't have to be discretionary. So this is stupid. And I wonder how drunk this person was when they made the comment. I'm certainly not thinking this girl was sitting there, clicking rounds in a magazine or acting like she was making some TATP as she did it. But the nuclear reactor has special security protocols and that it's armed and secured. So that once again, it's not like she could just walk in there. And even if she could, how would you do that? Even if you knew how to do it, that's not something you can just do. But once again, I'm betting this bordered on farcical or near impossible. Just like saying, if Michigan doesn't beat Ohio State this year, I'm going to set up a gravitational weapon on the surface of the moon and it will lob asteroids at the Earth in kinetic bombardment. I 100% mean I will do that. Now, can anybody really think that's a credible threat? I don't know. I mean, if you're retarded, maybe. But there you go. Earlier, somebody had made a bomb threat directed at the business building. Well, I mean, who really likes a business school? Business, you learn, buy low, sell high. Play lemonade stand tycoon. There you go. That's business in a nutshell. Thank God it didn't happen, though, because University of Utah won. Crisis averted. Although I just think this is so funny, blowing up a nuclear reactor. This is something Spectre would have done in the Sean Connery movies that, for James Bond. It's like Dr. No. Although he kind of did that in Doctor No. He screwed with the nuclear reactor. That was apparently okay. Oh, there is a super chat. Brandon Lesko, 9.99. Thank you very much. I appreciate the support. Shut the water supply off. Like I said, the new series of reactors, they've kind of factored that in, so you can't have a Fukushima happen again or a 3 Mile Island issue. The reactors are better and better and better nowadays. So Harris Riley saying University of Utah has a reactor on campus. What's it for? It's for research. A lot of schools actually have had nuclear reactors on campuses. Back in the 50s, they developed a reactor you could put on campuses all over the place to do nuclear energy research, physics research, all kinds of things. They're not. It's not like the University of Utah. They have a uranium refining program, and they're learning how to make bombs. It's how operating nuclear reactors, developing new processes, all the different things you might need out of that energy production. There's a million things that you'd need one for. Let's see. What? Pull up legal philosopher Eva Vladeringbrück. She's a sight to behold, and she's based as fuck. Oh, well, we'll have to. Sounds very Dutch with a name like that. Feeling harder if your name is DeCastro. Actually winning. I win when I go to court sometimes, so doing a lot better in Chile. That's a big bomb. It's not really that big of a bomb. The idea that nuclear reactors explode, I mean, they're encased in concrete. They're meant to be extremely durable and survivable. If you go drive by a nuclear power plant, if you happen to live near one, that big concrete silo thing that it's in is meant to withstand a jetliner crashing into it. They can blow up from the inside, and it will not breach the containment vessel. They are very safe. They are very robust. So no, I mean you basically have to hit one with a nuclear weapon to really cause any problems, or like a B-52 just like loaded with JDAM, just like one after the other, after the other, after the other. So, what the hell is Yik Yak? It's another mess. It's another app. Yeah, there's a nuclear. It's a small research reactor. They have them all over the place. Wrestler Town. Oh, this is a woman. She probably thought she was making a real threat. That's adorable. I hope. Oh, Michelle, why would they have a nuclear reactor? There's all kinds of reasons. What's the guy's name here on YouTube? Uh, nu- um, see if I can bring this guy. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here we go. This one, I will tell you this much: if you want to learn some stuff about nuclear reactions and things like that, I highly recommend just listen to this guy on YouTube, Illinois Energy Prof. He's out of the University of Illinois in Champaign and Urbana, but he does a whole set of playlist about nuclear power. We don't want to. We're going to cancel this out. He talks about like how do you get the uranium out of the ground, milling it with the tailings, how do you refine it, enriching it, what's left over, the economics of a nuclear reactor. This guy talks about all kinds of things about how you operate it. The future of them, different kinds of reactors, a lot of neat stuff that he can explain to you like you're four. So it's very good education. If I boomer the stream, you will rain holy fire on me. Is that considered a threat? I am an archangel. Well, I guess we'll find out. I'm feeling frisky. Oh, Scott, hold on. I hope you're okay right now. Where did you, hold on. I'm looking right now, Scott. I don't see anything. Uh, yeah, I don't see anything from you. Okay. Hold on, Scott. I'm gonna put it in the. Hold on, Scott. I'm gonna put this in chat right now. I don't see anything from you. That is my email right there. Send it to me right now. I'll take a look at it. So, thank you for the super chat. Hope you're okay, but get in touch with me. Oh, 93 RT's seen him. He's got good videos. Yeah, he's really good. They do medical research on those. Yep, 100% they do. Stabby is correct. 3 Mile Island was not close to Fukushima, but for America, that was the worst nuclear disaster we've ever had. And it was just a small release of nuclear gas. Small release. What about a metric shitload of explosives? Is a reactor protected against that? Pretty much. And just so you understand, the people that guard the nuclear plants, the companies that operate them, they very well heavily equip their dudes. They roll around with full auto weapons, crew served weapons. You are going to have a very tough experience getting onto a facility unauthorized. You can actually learn to make bombs at ITT Tech. Is that in the Peshawar? Is that the Peshawar campus version? The Peshawar satellite? Yes, Stabby. Molten salt thorium reactors can use nuclear waste as fuel, but I think we're a little away for that. Brandon, she could yell "re" at it. Jeez, I feel like we're having some actual education tonight. That's a little weird. Out of the ordinary. Oh yeah, unless you're the Russians and you build your nuclear reactor inside a barn, basically. That would be yes, but he's got good videos. Okay, let's see. Clan Bez, is that the guy who mocks and talks down anyone with concerns about nuclear? I don't think so. He's a professor, so he's very good at teaching it out. Not too sure. Yes, Harris, I did get your email. I need to respond back to you on that, and I apologize for not doing that sooner. Nero saying, I was at Fukushima and it was vastly overblown and a massively understated in Japan. So, yeah, truth is somewhere in the middle. Mr. K, yeah, even blowing up a plant wouldn't work. Like I said, you'd have to almost hit it with a nuclear weapon itself to blow it up and really do some damage. Um, yeah, they can be shut down super quick, super quick. Billiam, the Peshawar satellite. It's comments like this that make me keep coming back. Lol. Oh. Daily donkey salty dabs. We've been lied to about everything, including nuclear power. We have. Nuclear power's gotten a bum rap, but it is. And there's a reason why France has a gajillion reactors in their country. It works. Scott for another 5. Thank you so much, Scott. Yeah, I'll email you later. Not important enough to interrupt the stream. How come you're not on Twitter? Twitter. Well, I try to get on and then they ban me, and then they get mad at you for ban evasion. So it's kind of hard to stay on there if they catch you or people narc on you. So that's kind of where I am. I'm gonna have to figure out another way to get back on. Yes, DMs are 100% easier. Um, where's that one at? I scrolled past it. Sorry, Darcy. Darcy super chat for 1999. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate it. I'm so lucky we didn't have message boards or social media growing up. My friends and I would have been in trouble. I mean, I graduated high school in 2004, and yeah, there's so much that would have caused problems. So much that would have caused problems. So much. Yes, F's in the chat for all my fallen social media accounts. Yep, my Twitter accounts, even my Facebook. Although I didn't get banned, something weird happened on that one. Well, Harris, I was thinking about with your comments about doing that as a separate video because I think that's almost deserving of it's a big enough issue, and I think it is pretty interesting what's going on there. Have your assistant start a Twitter account. Yes. And yes, have your friends like just like Destiny. I know. I need to just have some friends start me accounts. Oh yeah, M2. I saw this earlier, and I think we kind of skipped ahead. Yes, have you ever seen videos of the Demon Core? Read about it? Yes, yes. It is a core of uranium that killed multiple people before they finally melted it down and reprocessed it. So, oh, all right, guys. Well, I think we'll move on to the next thing now. I thought it was a funny way to phrase it. A nuclear madman threatens the University of Utah. Uh, there's been more fun on the Nikolas Cruz case, and that's the. I think we'll start with there. You guys remember we talked about this last week. The defense basically sandbagged the court and everybody else by planning for 80 witnesses and then suddenly stopping at 40 right in the middle of their presentation and said, "Oh, we're done." Didn't give a heads up even in the morning or at any point, and that kind of pissed off the judge. Now, I mentioned that because is it proper? Well, there's no rule you have to tell anybody when you're done, but is it a level of decorum and courtesy? Yes. Does it keep things civil in a courtroom? Yes. But if you guys have been following along, this judge and the defense, well, they've been clashing and it's been kind of a big shitstorm in the meantime. So it's not a surprise that this happened again. But the defense moved to have the judge removed. They asked that she be recused. Now, always the problem with recusals are, and this is something to consider, when it comes to a recusal, when it comes to recusals, you're asking the judge themselves, Judge, you need to leave the case. So you're already saying, Judge, I think you're being improper. I think there's issues about your impartiality, and you need to leave. So you always have to be careful because you are, calling out the judge and not being thrilled with them at this point. So it kind of sucks after a while because you have to be very careful because you can just literally take a bigger dump in the pool that you're already swimming in. So it's not the best. It's not the best. Yeah, Alpha Fox, you're saying, yeah. Basically, the defense said, like, done, out. Justin Smith said, yeah, that judge was pissed. She was. And I understand from her side of it because this is a very expensive trial. It is taking time. They're trying to get it done in a reasonable amount of time, because the prosecution could have been preparing their rebuttal witnesses or deciding what they're going to do. The judge could have prepared, or they could have had the jury, they could have rescheduled things for another day and give the jury another day to go home, work, do whatever they were doing, but they didn't. And I do think this does show it's interesting. It is an interesting way of seeing what happens. And I couldn't find just a straight clip from Law and Crime fast enough, so we're just gonna cheat and watch some local news here and see if we can get to it fast enough.
A new motion on Wednesday.
This is the most uncalled for, unprofessional way to try a case. You all knew about this, and even if you didn't make your decision till this morning, to have 22 people plus all of this staff and every attorney march into court, be waiting.
This is her speaking from earlier.
Game. Now I have to send them home. The state's not ready. They're not going to have a witness ready. We have another day wasted. I honestly, I have never experienced a level of unprofessionalism in my career.
The judge was responding to the defense's announcement that it was resting.
Okay, well, we're gonna.
She says,
I don't.
Anything else?
But if
off to Massachusetts, we don't. The reality is.
Okay, well, that doesn't help us. Where the heck is it? I thought there was one that showed. Yeah. Here, let's try this one. This was a little frustrating because I looked for
attorneys for the abruptly rest.
I just want to say this is the most.
Oh, it's from last week. That's why it's not showing up. 3 days ago. Here we go.
When the defense rested abruptly, guilty last
The entire trial.
confrontations and calls for mistrials with the defense, though not in front of the jury, after the qualified saying is long held and has infected this entire trial. Even the confessed shooter fit, citing case law that judicial comments, even of a critical or hostile nature, are not grounds for disqualification.
Okay, so I couldn't get the load. Sorry, guys. But yes, that is the big issue that happens there, is the judge decides. And as Harris said, if it doesn't work out, you've pissed them off. Now, sometimes there are judges I've been in front of where I have had to file that to protect my client and for protecting the record as part of zealous representation. And the judge, you understand. The judge understands. It's all in the game. As the great warrior poet Omar of Baltimore would say. But in this situation, both the defense and the court have been very antagonistic. I think that both sides have shown their ass a little bit here. But as far as things are considered, this is a death penalty trial. When you're the defense, this is the last stand. I would expect the defense to pull out all the stops, engage in gamesmanship, because they're trying to keep this guy from getting executed. This is game 7. This is the game 7 of all game 7s. There is no tomorrow for this. So I understand them to an extent. I think the judge needs to kind of chill the fuck out a little bit, because she should understand what's happening here. And I don't understand why she doesn't. It's a little infuriating to me. So wasn't it the defense, Darcy saying, wasn't it the defense that tried to eat her before the trial began? Yes, but also, if you remember, she did fuck up the jury stuff at the beginning, so they had to redo this. So that's the problem there. Brandon, let's go. Saying, well, Brandon, let's go. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go. Is Cruz the hot judge? Yes, hot. As far as judges are concerned, for the most part, yes, she is very good looking. But let's be honest, I think there's a lot of spackle on there. But hey, she looks fine. Alpha saying the reporter's better looking than the judge. Jim Satala saying, It's good to see you again, Jim. I'm not liking the eye rolling hysterics from the judge. It's highly unprofessional. Yeah, I don't like it either. But you also have to remember we are people, and she should be better at that. But that's once again not enough. Here's Riley saying the defense strategy is okay, kid. You pissed everyone else off. Let's piss off the legal system too. I mean, their job is not to make friends. Their job is to win this one. And this is one of those ones you kind of have to win at all costs because there isn't, like I said, there is no tomorrow. This is game 7. This is it. Stabby, she's Florida woman. She's got to have her makeup on point. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. That's. Oof. Oof. Alpha saying he could crack walnuts on her head. Daily Donkey saying she should shanks and all of them so-called lawyers. They're doing their thing. That zealous representation always has that. It's a fine line. But once again, it's a death penalty case, and he's like 100% guilty and 100% likely to get executed. So what else can they do? Stabby saying this case has been a roller coaster. Did I see the video a few weeks ago when the defense team for Cruz was crying during victim impact statements from the family? Yeah. Yeah, it's well, I mean, that's part of it having women on their defense team, but yeah, it's hard not to, when you're in court and you've got somebody up there who's suffered severe violence, violations of their most personal, spaces in their life has been ruined, or their family member's been taken from them. It's hard to sit in those. It's hard to sit there and not have an emotion or feel some sort of empathy. So, yeah, no, it can be rough. It can be rough. Yes, Parallax. Omar coming, yo. Omar coming, yo. Daily Donkey saying it's her courtroom, though, not the defense's. Yes, it's her courtroom, and she should govern herself in accordance with the judicial canons and what's expected of somebody who's meant to be the referee in this courtroom, the finder of law. I realize these attorneys Stabby saying are trying to do a job, but I couldn't defend this dude's actions. I'd like to see a Halderson defense for this dude. And Stabby, this is where I'd say it's all part of the game, man. You take somebody, I've mentioned, you've heard me talk about this here before. I know a fact 100% they did it. And you're still shooting for the moon. It's like when you're playing hearts, I'm trying to shoot the moon here and get them all. That's sometimes like what you got to do. And it's those ones where you gain, the experience. That's where you spend your time in the trenches fighting those impossible battles. That's what makes you a good attorney and a good advocate. Scott. Can she recuse herself for being too smoking hot and distracting the attorneys? Yes. Oh. The Christopher Scher preliminary hearing is tomorrow. Interesting. Wrestler Town, I'm not going to say that one. Matt saying the defense is trying to go for a mistrial. Any chance they get. If they succeed, is there a chance the state does not try him again and accepts life without parole for him? Oh no, something like this for Nikolas Cruz. They are if the courts see a mistrial, they're going to try him again and they're going to go for the death penalty again. They will not. This is not your run of the mill murder. This guy, no, they're always going to come after him. I don't see why they wouldn't. You've got way too much. It's too political. It's too much in the public. There's too many victims. I mean, there's no way you could just try to cut him a deal and let him walk. And I'm not sure a judge would accept it. Nero FL89 saying, I thought this was solely for the death. Yeah, it is. It's solely for the punishment phase. It's solely for the punishment phase, but you basically are having a second trial. Not to establish guilt, but you bring in aggravating and mitigating, and you see which side the jury, what tips their scale the most. Michelle saying, FYI, Nate raised 20 grand in 24 hours. Jeez. Well, good for him. I didn't check in on it, but yeah. Good for Nate. Eric the Red saying the prosecution wants his head on the wall. Oh yeah, they do, but the community wants that head. The families of the victims want that head. Like everybody wants his head on the wall. Eric the Red saying a lot of people hate Chris Boozy. Yeah, they do. Yes, they do. I run Bot Sentinel. We can tell when someone's a Russian bot. Trust me, MSNBC said I'm good. K Drake saying Bot Sentinel's now crowdfunding for legal fees too. Yeah, but he's done that before. So, and you have the right to do that. It's funny, he was calling Nate out for it, and then he goes running around shaking the change jar as well. Billiam says if they can't get the death penalty for Cruz, could they ever really get it for anyone? And I think that's a pretty fair argument. If he doesn't qualify for it, who does? And Jim, this is actually going to dovetail very much into the next thing we're going to talk about. You're anti-death penalty because I don't trust the government to not execute innocent people just because it's easier than admitting they were wrong. Okay. And this is actually, I think, a very good segue to what happened this week. So back in 2000, there was a murder trial in Baltimore. And it was for this guy, Adnan Syed. He was the first, if you listen to the podcast Serial, he's the first episode. He spent 23 years in prison for the killing of Haman Lee. And his was the first case where they used cell phones, for example, to try to show they pinged his locations and what was going on. And he was given a very long time in prison. But I guess what I would say to you, Jim, in response to that is, if you can't trust the government to kill that guy and they put innocent people in jail, I don't think you can trust them to put somebody away for life without parole or life or 40 years, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 years, 7 years, 5 years, 3 years, a year. I mean, I think you run into the issue of if you can't trust the government because they'll put an innocent man in prison, well, then you can't trust them to do it, period. Because for you then can't sit there and say, oh, it's only a year. Well, yeah, it is a year. Like, would you go? And I'm not saying you personally, but a year in prison is a long fucking time. I have clients where they, get sentenced to 30 days, and I'm thinking, God damn, I would not want to go serve 30 days in jail. I wouldn't want to go serve 5 days in jail. I wouldn't want to serve 5 minutes in jail. So, and even if we're skipping jail just to speeding tickets and traffic tickets and fines, an innocent man could get fined improperly and illegally and wrongfully. And once again, that's due process. You're being deprived of your property. And yeah, it's only money, but you have to work. So that's also your life and your liberty because, you got to go spend it at work to make that money to pay a fine. So being anti-death penalty, I get to an extent, but you have to be careful because at the end of the day, if you can't trust the government to ever sanction anyone, well, then you can't trust the government to punish anybody for anything, period. So it's a good podcast. I've only heard it once or twice. M2 is saying, I thought it was pronounced Murdermore, not Baltimore. No. It's actually Bodymore Murderland. That's what they, back in the time of The Wire, that's what they used. I think they still call it that, Bodymore Murderland. So, anyway, getting back to Adnan Syed, he's been released. He is currently out on the home detention. He's wearing a GPS monitor. And the prosecutors have 30 days to decide what they're going to do. And the reason why they did this is the prosecutors determined that the authorities knew about at least one alternate suspect for his trial and withheld that information from his defense. Yes, they knew about another possible suspect, and the defense never got to know about it. I'm sure that have been very helpful at trial. So whoever did that, I hope you are suffering from the worst possible, like, cancer just eating away at your insides. You're just having the worst cancer craps ever. I mean, you put a man in prison. You almost basically killed this guy, killed his youth for whatever reason. And I don't know what that is. But you are a bigger piece of shit than that person whoever murdered Haman Lee. I mean, you're a bigger piece of shit than Nikolas Cruz, whoever it is that suppressed this evidence. You are a monstrous piece of shit. You are a bigger threat to the United States than Al-Qaeda ever would be, or ISIS is. That's how big of a scumbag you are. And whoever you are, I hope you hear this. I really do. And I just like to say, in closing to that person, fuck you. And the prosecutor of Baltimore County, Marilyn Mosby, who is not exactly the gem of government integrity, conceded much of the evidence relied upon the original trial was now useless. And that's a problem with the cold case. After a while, things drag on. But I will give her credit. She's doing the right thing here. It's interesting, though, the Maryland Attorney General says that they've represented the state for his various appeals, saying that's not a Brady violation. Withholding evidence like that is a Brady violation, bro. Just accept it. In the Attorney General's office saying there is nothing wrong here. We always withhold evidence, is what I feel like they're trying to say. But anyways, here he is. He's getting to leave custody. Good for him. So, and the theory was that Lee was strangled, and they thought that Syed, her ex-boyfriend, did it. And he was an honor student. He was actually a very good kid at the time, was doing great. And he was 17 in 1999, and he's been behind bars since then. So think about that. Once again, they didn't kill him, but how old is he now? 1999, that's 23 years. And he's 40. I mean, you killed his 20s, you killed his 30s. That God knows what he's been through in the meantime. So it's good that we didn't kill him, but is he really that much better off now? I mean, he's been thoroughly, hampered. So he's always maintained his innocence. I'm sorry, he's 41 now. He's had his innocence. Here's the point. If the evidence had been disclosed, he might not have missed his high school graduation, going to medical school, 23 years of birthdays, holidays, family gatherings, and every other thing he wanted to do. So that's why this is, whoever withheld this, you're a horrible person. Absolutely horrible. Now, yes, there's another side to this. Lee's family, who they were so torn up by this. They didn't have time to attend the hearing, but were on video. And they needed a private place to watch this. And for them, this is not a podcast. This is real life. And for them, sure. But once again, it's about the man who has to face it, the defendant, not the victim. You know, and this is the thing. The victims are not against the continued investigation, but the conviction should stand. Well, you know, they think the conviction should stand, but they're okay with people investigating it. Well, that should be a red flag for you that there's something wrong with the case. But yes, his first trial ended with a mistrial and a hung jury, and then he was found guilty of murder, and he was handed down a 30-year sentence. And in their motion to overturn the conviction, the prosecutors admit actually it wasn't just one, but two suspects. I mean, holy heaping dog shit. They knew about this, and they didn't do anything with it. They kept it to themselves. And so, yes, whatever state's attorneys or attorney generals people worked on this, you are fucking awful people. Absolutely. The worst. You're worse than child molesters. Like, that's how bad you are. There's a special place in hell for you for this. And I hope you ask God for your forgiveness for what you did to this man. You know, one of the people that was in here was a serial rapist. I'm sure that would have been helpful to know. I'm sure that would have been super, super freaking helpful to know. This whole thing is just a true fucking injustice. And you know what? There was new DNA testing done, which since 1999 has grown leaps and bounds and is far more reliable than it was back then. And the tests have been inconclusive so far. There's still a few items pending, and they're probably waiting on those before they decide whether or not to drop it. But yeah, that's Alpha Fox saying, would race judicata apply to the guilty plea but not sentencing, i.e. if there was a mistrial for the sentencing hearing? Okay, so are you asking if you've been convicted but the court screws up at sentencing, does the whole thing have to get redone? No. You only have to redo a sentencing, even if there's a plea. If the sentencing's wrong, you only redo the part that's wrong. There is a case out my way. It's a death penalty case. A guy shot a police officer and killed him, wounded him, and then walked up to him, and the appeals courts have said his mitigation phase, the penalty phase, was not properly done. But he was found guilty by a jury, but there were some issues about evidence not being brought up or some issues in it that he's going to have a new sentencing phase, new penalty phase. Okay, so you just do that part. You only redo that part. You don't have to redo the whole trial. You just redo the part you're dealing with. That's wrong. Eric the Red saying, I'm against the death penalty because I don't trust the state to sit the right way on a toilet seat alone, reasonably convict and terminate a life fairly. And I think that's fair, but once again, they tried to put this guy away for 30 years. I mean, yeah, we could say, hey, bro, at least you get to walk around, but you destroyed this man's life. I mean, you effectively killed him. Jim saying you can get the case overturned like this guy did. Okay, but he's lost 23 years of his life. I mean, you don't get that back. That's a long time. You know, that's a life sentence in many states. It's a minimum of 20 years is a life sentence. So there's this perception that it's a very long time. You've effectively killed this person. You know, you're basically just like saying, hey, we're cool, bro. Have a good one. Sorry about that. Well, if the state can't be trusted to do that, then how can you trust them to do anything? Well, at least we didn't kill you. There's a movie I've quoted before. It's Conspiracy. It talks about the Wannsee Conference, where the Nazis developed their plan to execute the final solution. And Kenneth Branagh and Stanley Tucci are in it. Very, very good. And Kenneth Branagh is Reinhard Heydrich. And one of the people there is upset that they are going to start the death camps. And he looks at him and says, "You've destroyed their lives. You've taken their jobs. You've taken their property. You've shoved them into ghettos. You removed them from the legal world. They are not considered people anymore. You beat them, use them as slave labor, but just don't kill them, and that's okay." And that's where I am with this, because we're literally doing everything but kill them, and it's okay. Well, I don't see how that cuts it. That's and I think we can agree to disagree, Jim. And if I ever make it down to Florida, we can have some road pops and talk about it. Oh, fucks, can I spend my 5 minutes in the jail shower? um, Hi, Stephanie. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm gonna have to reach out to you so we can talk, so we can go on and probably talk and get together and talk about some stuff. I know you said you'll only talk about guns and whatnot. We could do that. Eric saying the death penalty. They poke your eardrums with a sharp pencil. That would be rough. Eric the Red saying, "I live near Baltimore." That's accurate. Do I remember the show 60 Days In where people went undercover and then the one dude volunteered for the show 2 times and Minecrafted himself? Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he got caught with some like cheese pizza or something sexual offender related. But yeah, that guy had a rough time. Yes, it was a Marilyn Mosby special, but this is one time I think she did it right. And I will give her credit for doing it right. AD saying in New York City, I tried to stop a shoplifter and I would have, but I was advised not to because if I had beat up the guy, they would arrest me for battery. Wow, what a world. Well, more importantly, let's say that guy's got a knife. Are you willing to get stabbed up for that? If he's got buddies, are you willing for his buddies to come beat you senseless for that? Those are bigger considerations too, just to be careful. Jim saying, I remember watching the documentary about this guy and saying it's possible that he was guilty, but they in no way proved anything by a preponderance standard. Yeah. Yep. Oh, you guys are okay. Yeah, sorry. You guys are running around. You guys are bouncing around through topics as I was reading this article. Yes, yeah. He had some issues sexually related that caused him to do that. A name saying, I think an Adnan joined a Muslim group. Yeah, hopefully it helped him. He should sue the state. Yes, he should. And hopefully he gets something out of that. So I think that is the epitome of a wrongful prosecution. Well, you guys are chugging along here. I gotta catch back up. Can he sue for wrongful prosecution? I think so. With the withheld evidence, he would have a very valid claim. If the DNA shows innocence, well, the DNA, if it's inconclusive, you can't prove it. Jim saying if the DNA is inconclusive for him, he's innocent. End of story. Yeah, I think so, and that's how we have to look at it. Darcy saying on the undisclosed podcast, the judge apparently didn't want to hear about potential of other suspects. Well, the problem is when you're on appeal, you're limited to what happened. It's very, very hard to introduce evidence after the fact like that on an appeal. It's very hard. That's why you have to come back to the trial court and do it. Adnan Syed, is that who we're talking about? Yes, we are. Arash, 100% we're talking about him. Jim saying, I don't trust the government at all. I know you don't, Jim. I'm just saying, like I said, I know you kind of explained your philosophy about it, and I just, explained mine as well. So, yeah. Thank you for also, I forgot to mention, thanks for stopping by. I didn't see you earlier, so glad you're here. Always enjoy your company. Stabby, we can talk about stuff on Discord. It'll be private just between us and the DMs. Eric V, how you doing? Ooh, the CDC stated the Lyme disease tests were accurate and never made a mistake. Yeah. Oof. Well, I hope you get. That's not good having Lyme disease, so I hope you're doing okay with that. Justin B saying Florida's being treated a cruel and unusual punishment. Jeremy DeWitt is loose. Yeah, that is the sad thing. He's out on his own again. Raj says, if I were locked up, I would grow out my ass hair and then get my two butt cheeks braided together, effectively protecting myself. Everybody, yeah, and Wrestler Town's correct. Everyone carries a knife. Curtis Phillips saying, was just wondering if I play Hell Let Loose. No, that's actually on my list of things. I might start that soon. Very similar to Squad, except it's World War II. Well, it's the same people, actually. I'm pretty sure Off-World Industries developed it. But no, I've seen it, and I know people play it, and they very much enjoy it. So it's not bad at all. Stabby saying, have I seen the new 8.6 Blackout round? Yes, I have. But at that point, you may as well use the Russian 9 by 39 millimeter stuff. The loads. The Russian loads. Yes. As Sergey stands over you. Yes, open your mouth very much wide. But no, at that point, I would just use the Russian 9 by 39 stuff on an upper. I think it'd probably be a little cheaper, at least for now. Then also there's the idea with the 9 by 39. Maybe you can have a Venturas or an AS Val, which would be really cool. Not a big Russia guy, but the AS Val looks sick. Graham saying, have I seen Florida versus Dexter Lawson? Worse than Ronnie O'Neal. Argues he should be acquitted because Kyle Rittenhouse walked. Trump hasn't been arrested and Kim Potter only got 2 years. No, I'll have to look into that one. I guess hold on. I got to pull up my list of stuff. And if you guys make suggestions on things, I apologize just because there's so much out there. Dexter, what the hell was this guy's name? Dexter Lawson. All right, we'll take a look at him. Eric saying, what if he really did do it, but the investigation was just so shoddy they had to let him go? That's the fault of the police. That's not his fault, so it shouldn't matter. Should not matter at all. Daily Donkey saying, with Jim, I agree. There's more trust in gas station sushi. Yeah, but there's not much. There's a Discord. No, I guess I'll set up a Discord finally. I'll work on that too. No, but I've encountered Stabby on Discord, so I talk with him. But yeah, I need to set one up. Oh, Dead BQ 95. Alabama's an execution got lifted tonight, or stayed tonight. Barrett joined liberal justices in dissent. I'll have to take a look at that one, but there might be times where that's important. So hopefully, if there's an issue, it gets sorted out. And the case I mentioned earlier in my area where the death penalty for the guy who shot the police officer is going to get relooked at. I'll go into that because I do know a lot about it. It happened back in like 91, but I've learned a lot from a lot of people around what happened in that situation. So we can talk about it. Yeah, I kind of travel amongst a bunch of Discords. I'm on a bunch of different ones. But yeah, I probably should start my own. Oh, Billiam saying Hell Let Loose is much more accessible than Squad. Hell Let Loose is a video game. It's a World War II kind of shoot up, fighting against each other. And Squad is a modern day version of it. The vehicles aren't as overpowered. Yeah. And Amy is saying, yeah, where are you going to get 9x39 now? I think there will be a market for that coming up. I also just think it'd be cooler. 9x39 is pretty much impossible to get right now. I know for now, but there's always, like Dr. Malcolm said in Jurassic Park, life always finds a way. Do I believe civilians should be allowed to possess explosive munitions? Hold on. I can't see it, so I'm not grabbing it if you guys know what I'm pointing at here. That bad boy right there, if you look, is an RPG-2 that's been demilitarized that I'm in the process of still waiting on I need to refile my stamp, and then I need to get it rewelded. But that will be, yes, I should be able to own rockets for that. So I could go find a crappy car, drive it out onto a range, and start chucking anti-tank rockets at it. But yes, I should be able to have a box full of grenades right now sitting next to my desk. 100%. Did you see that Brandon Herrera has a VSS? Yes, I did. That's why I think it's really cool he's got one. Do I think citizens in America should be? Yes, 100%. And we have a new member. I can't bring it up on here, which sucks. Oh, I can actually. Hold on. Curtis Phillips, thank you for remembering. I appreciate your support. I really, really do. Guys, also, if you want to support me in a way that doesn't involve, that does not involve going through YouTube and having to give Mama Susan a bit of the action, there's another way you can do that, and that's locals. I actually have a locals now. We're working on putting together some neat stuff there. There's going to be, just everything we can do that we're not allowed to talk about here and do here. And there might be some things you guys want to see, and I'd be happy to, work on those and put them together and do it in a way you guys would enjoy. But yes, we do have a locals page. I guess I'll show you my way. For me, what it looks like. But I just did a studio tour. I just put that up. And then I just have, a welcome video right now, but I'm working on a couple things I want to put together that's going to be exclusive just for there. So, there's a way to do it if you don't want to do memberships here. That's another way of looking at it. And hopefully Kurt's not sitting there thinking, fuck, I just wasted money. But that's just something to think about going forward. KTB, hey, how you doing? Good to see you. I'm way behind live, but please clip your. I will. I'll start doing that. And if you guys ever see anything I say and you think that was like cool or fire or, bussin', as the kids would say now, don't be afraid to tell me about it because I will be happy to clip it out. It's cheap fodder for the algorithm. An AR-10 and 45 Raptor, that sounds like some fun. A-Dubs is saying in potato mashers should double as baby rattles. Yes. The 11th Circuit, AD saying the 5th Circuit and 11th Circuit are split on social media common carrier status. They have. Yes, it's very, I covered that Friday night last week. We went through it pretty far. It's interesting. It is interesting, the arguments that are used to bring big tech to heel. I think it's very well done. but we'll see how far it goes and see how well it survives. Wrestler Town saying, I'm fine with you having a box grenade so long as you don't live in an apartment. That's my rule. Have enough land to accommodate for a mistake explosion. You can have it. Well, if it's in a container, then it's fine. But if it's not, then I could have rockets and they could shoot off. I think Matt LaRosiere is right. It should just be common law nuisance. And if you do something criminal, then fine, get punished criminally. But civilly, it's just nuisance should be the standard. Prime is saying, my hot take is that law enforcement should have the same restrictions that citizens have. 100%. I think that's more than fair. And there are some gun companies, in fact, that do that. Barrett, for example, when California started passing some of their restrictions on 50 cal, said, we're not servicing any more of them. Screw you, to the various police departments. So that's one way of handling it. And then Cuddle Muffins for Super Chat, $20. Thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Thanks for our chat about the drunk driver. It helped a lot, and we'll send some more later for helping out. Hey, I was happy to help you figure out what was going on with your thing, and hopefully shoot me another, get a hold of me again and we can talk more. I wanted to see the dog from the tour. Well, he wasn't there because the bed was empty, but also Parallax, thank you for putting that up on the screen. But yes, if he's willing to stay, he gets very nervous very quickly. It's Mr. K saying kids these days are retarded. Yes, all of them. If I hear bussing again, I'm out. Well, I hope that doesn't count. The one place I'm going to get banned on is locals. That's great. Hey, you know what? I'm betting that would be an accomplishment. The only man banned from locals for being too based. So Arash is saying, say if hypothetically my friend cut someone's brake lines and then paid off this hypothetical victim and then dropped the investigation, would the police continue to investigate and pursue charges regardless? Well, yes, they're still going to investigate. Now, if this is a situation where they need the victim to cooperate, then they might be stonewalled and screwed. But there are many times, for example, like a domestic violence, if they have ways of developing evidence alternatively, they will. And in a situation like this, though, they might not. As long as there wasn't injury to life or property, they probably wouldn't care. M2 is taken off. Have a good night. Thanks for sticking around. I'm out. Ban on locals for most revealing foot pics. Ooh, I don't think you guys are ready for my hobbit feet. I don't think you're ready for my feet. So, all right, where's the other one? Oh, another one I wanted to get to. And this one, I think this is actually a harbinger of what's to come in the next year or two. It's only going to get worse. And that is the story out of North Dakota, where a man ran over a high schooler because the high schooler was on the right in support of the Republicans. And no, I'm not joking. I'm not being hyperbolic. That's literally why this happened. And this is that piece of shit right here, Shannon Brandt. This jackoff ran over a high schooler. He is accused of mowing down a teenager over a political car. Oh, I probably should have clicked on this one. He admitted running down the kid over his politics. And he admitted to fatally striking a teenage pedestrian and ran him over. And he's accused of So here's the deal. He ran over a kid that he claimed was threatening him. Brandt said that the pedestrian called some people and Brandt was afraid they were coming to get him. Brandt admitted to the state police that he hit the pedestrian. The pedestrian was part of a Republican extremist group. Okay, real quick. If you're in a car and someone's outside the car threatening you, you know what the cool thing you could do is? You can just drive away. I mean, you're literally in a car. They can't run to catch up to you. It's not like the T-1000. You can literally drive the fuck away. This is the same for if you are not being a drunk asshole and dealing with a high school student, but you think your life is in danger, period. Drive away. Leave. But Shannon Brandt, being the little bitch he is, didn't and ran over a high schooler. I mean, look at this punk-ass piece of shit. This little bitch. And I hope you hear that, Shannon. You're a little bitch. What are you going to do, run me over too? I'm a little fat, so I might get stuck under your car. You might not get anywhere. Something to be careful about. And this is who he hit, which I know might be a little cringe, but it's Kaylor Ellingson, and you guys should know his name. He got run over because Shannon Brandt had a tampon attack and thought they were real Nazis. He also admitted to drinking before this whole thing happened, and he left the scene of the crash. He was breathalyzed at 0.08. He was above 0.08. And it's fucked up. But it's hilarious listening to this guy when he goes to court. He asked not to be held on bail, saying he doesn't want to lose his job, his family, because of the high amount. Bro, you ran over an 18-year-old kid because you're a drunk little girl. I hate to break it to you, but you're probably going to prison out of this no matter what. And in fact, I want to give a shout out to hold on, what's his name here? I got to make sure I give him credit. Dick Kickham over on Discord. I ran into him, and he explained to me why he wasn't charged with murder and only with vehicular homicide. He's being charged with vehicular homicide and leaving the scene of an accident. And that's because in North Dakota, it changes how you face crimes and how things can get done. So he does have advantages. Like that's a mandatory 10-year mandatory minimum for that because he has already had a prior OVI and a DUI. And because he was likely drunk at this one. So that helps. There's already a better sentence, a more definite sentence. The judge can't deviate from it. By law, he's bound to minimum 10 years. The most he could face is 20. So there are some advantages to why this was done. I don't know. I know Nick was going to talk about it the one night. I got kind of tired, and I didn't listen to it. So I haven't gotten to that point. But he's got a previous DUI from 2002. He's fled from a police officer. He's had all kinds of issues. Not having, driving without licenses, running from the cops, all kinds of general shitbaggery. So, Shannon Brandt, have fun, bro. You're going to have fun. Have fun with your toothbrush. You're going to need it. Hope you learn how to make a shiv out of it. But this is a harbinger of things to come. I mean, this drunk dumbass out in the middle of North Dakota, you're going to see this happening more and more. If you run around telling people there's really Nazis outside, well, there's only one way you deal with Nazis. Like, really deal with Nazis. So this discourse is, it's going to get out of hand. It's going to get out of hand, and a lot of people are going to get hurt, and we'll be lucky to live through it. As the great actor said, this will get out of hand, and we'll be lucky to live through it. Stabby saying, how is this not a hate crime? Because it's probably not listed. Political affiliation is not grounds for a hate crime in North Dakota. So, yes, 7-Eleven is an inside job. Oh, good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. He's not a flight risk despite fleeing. Yes, 100%. 100%. So, sorry guys, I'm trying to catch up here. Yes, Graham, I saw this too, and I'll probably cover that as there's a little more information about it. Yes. Anthony Huber's parents are suing Kyle for violating their son's civil rights. Yeah, well, sorry, bro, but I guess don't be don't be out on parole and go into a riot. That kind of hurts your problems. Yes, 7-Eleven saying it's self-defense drunk driving. Yes, Eric's like, my right-wing buddies were gonna kill me. The Lost Sith, hello. Jim, you're right. The kid did call his mom because this guy was chasing him in the truck, and he didn't know what the hell. He doesn't know who this Shannon Brandt guy is. The guy who killed him, he had no idea who he was. Yeah, this, and I don't have the clip of it, but I did see it earlier. Yes, he just thought it was he thought it was just like his normal, other times he's been in trouble getting bail set. He just didn't realize there was a problem. Graham is saying, to be fair, Marcus Wilson could have literally just drove the fuck away. He could have. He could have. He could have hauled ass and raced off. He could have slammed on his brakes and turned around. Yeah, there's a bunch of things he probably could have done. And avoidance is your number one self-defense tool. Fleeing is a self-defense tool. I mean, Jocko Willenick, as much as your discipline equals wake up at 4 a.m. jiu-jitsu and whatever. Okay. He does admit, if you come attack him, you shove him, you start to swing at him, he's like, I can run away. If I don't have to fight you, I don't want to. And if you don't have to get into a bad situation, get the hell out of there. And think about it. This kid's 18 years old. I bet he, imagine if he had been able to protect himself with a pistol. And his other friends could have started air conditioning Shannon Brandt's ass before he killed one of them. And they could have just Swiss cheesed this little bitch of a human being. Sadly, they couldn't because they're not allowed to possess firearms and go buy them. They can't go buy pistols. Eric's saying, I bet Shannon attended BLM rallies. He might have. To those that Sean the Speed Bump, I don't know your last name. It's Sean the Speed Bump Martin. If you watch some of the other videos, it should show up my name. I don't hear anyone calling it out for, and nobody has said a word. Nobody said a word about this one, and that's the pathetic part. Mr. K saying can always be upgraded later. Mr. K, you're right. It could be upgraded later, but I still think when I talk to Dick Kickham over on Discord, that there's some strategy involved here. This way, it's a mandatory minimum sentence. Michelle saying, so he has a family, but he runs over someone else's child. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's great logic. Great logic there, Shannon. Great logic, bro. Yes, the hunt for October, Patty. Yep, 100%. I also got your email, Patty. Joe K, yes. As much as people like to make fun of Scott Adams, and I think Sitch and Adam are guilty of that, I think they're going to have to eat a lot of crow coming up in the future. And I say that not joyously, but sadly, they're going to have to eat a lot of crow because they're going to be shown to be wrong. So, Eric Foams saying Huber was on parole. Yes, Huber had just been released from prison for doing a lot of nasty crap to women. So Moms Incorporated saying if an attorney says I object and the judge says sustained, why don't they stop the trial and correct the wrong before the objection? Because I'm guilty of this all the time. You can't they have to ask the question or do the thing before you can object. Now, if you know about it in advance, you can do what's called a motion in limine or a restrictive, protective order to try to prevent that from happening. And courts will go along with those. But if you know there's questioning coming up, you sometimes they have to ask the question. And you can't stop them partway through it. Even though they've asked question A, B, and C is the one you need to object to. And you know what they're asking. It's clear they're going down that road. They are going to ask it. They are partway through the question right before they do the critical thing is damaging. You still can't say, objection, Your Honor, objection. Because they're going to turn around and say, Judge, I haven't asked the question. You don't know what I'm going to say. I know what you're going to say. The court knows what you're going to say. But the question has to be asked first. And then you could say objection. So I hope that answers your question there. AD for $5. Thank you for much your super chat. I appreciate the support. How is New York going to defend its new gun regulations as deeply rooted in history? They aren't, and they're going to be screwed every time. But much like I mentioned this to Robert Barnes right after Bruin was ruled. This is going to be much like the civil rights struggle. You're going to see places saying, well, the government can't be discriminatory. Okay, well, how about in a movie theater? No. How about here? No. All the cases where discrimination was brought before the Supreme Court, they just kept on, okay, well, you didn't say we couldn't do it here. You didn't say we couldn't do this. You didn't say we couldn't do that. Until the Supreme Court had to say, like, no, 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 and no. It's going to take a long time. So Stephanie, hello. I thought you said hi earlier, but hello. What happened to stochastic terrorism? Well, this is the manifestation of the stochastic terrorism. And if you guys have not seen by Doomer Media, Vosh is an evil person. It's a great way to learn about stochastic terrorism. AD saying the court only needs 4 justices to hear case. Yes. To get certiorari, you only need 4 justices to agree. Harris Riley, sometimes you just need someone else to buy. No, you don't. And I'm not going to finish that one because that's a straw purchase. And that's federally prohibited, so you don't want to do that. Do not do what Harris is suggesting. Will not be a good day. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up here. Wow, you guys are rocking and rolling along. No, Stephanie, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure if you didn't, I did see you and I did say hello. I just wanted to make sure you heard that I said hello to you. No worries, no problems, no harm. You guys are talking about the militias. There really weren't any rules except you showed up for the annual muster where everybody showed up to prove they actually had all the gear that you're supposed to need. And then you might do a fire and ranks, but it'd be very basic, rudimentary skill demonstration and proficiency. Speaking of terrorism on the platform, did you talk about the business casual case yet? No, I'm going to do kind of a longer video for that. I think it deserves its own. Just given this guy, I understand what he's trying to do and he's right, but he's setting bad case precedent. So that's the problem. AD is saying it's smart to bring in corpus delicti to challenge your charges in court. Don't use that word Because the moment you do that, they're going to think you're a sovereign citizen nutter. And corpus delicti, for everybody else who's wondering, is like the actual harm. Who's the victim? Present us a body, for this crime. That is sovereign citizen speak. So if I get charged with speeding, well, who's the victim? Where's the corpus delicti? Well, technically, there really isn't. It's the society is the victim. The state is the victim. So no, be careful about using that because it's really not going to help you. Oh yes, definitely. I definitely will. If you're on I usually hold on here. I'll have to do it here. I'll make sure my email's at the bottom. Or if you're on Discord, I'm on there as potentially criminal. Get a hold of me there, and we can work something out because obviously I can't do Twitter anymore, at least for now, until I come up with a new. And if I do it again, I'm solely going to use it just as a contact point. I don't think I'm going to do anything else with it because I can't afford to keep getting isolated from people online. It's the primary thing it helps for. Oh, okay. So, moms, okay, here you go. What Moms Incorporated is saying, what I meant was, if the question is asked and the attorney does not object, why doesn't the judge stop the trial and correct the question? Because there might be times I'm okay with a question being asked, or maybe I get caught sleeping, or I catch the other guy sleeping. Well, that's not the judge's job to stop it. Now, if I ask something super ludicrous, I'm breaching courtroom conduct, decorum, or let's say there was something. There are some judges who do step in and say, like, counselor, no, you're not asking that. Stop. But there's many judges who will say, if you're not going to object, I'm not getting in the way. There are for every judge who's very strict about everything and will get involved, and some of them, being former prosecutors, it's hard for them not to. And they're very serious about protecting their record and making sure there are no issues, especially from the defense standpoint. And some of them, like if you see something and the prosecutor says something, I've seen judges who they'll look at the other party, they'll look at the defense attorney like this, like as a sentence, like, hey, bro, object. So that happens. But there are a lot of judges who will say, hey, I am the referee, but if you don't raise it up, I'm not going to call it. They're the type of referees who, like in football, they'll let you do that fighting in the 5 yards, and they'll let you get there's some bump and grind downfield between the back and the wide receiver. They're gonna let you fight. Or like in hockey, there's some refs who will let you get into it. They'll let you get they'll let you get to the edge of the fighting before they stop it. They'll let you play. Oh, Edie, don't challenge. Oh, okay. Now we're just being a smart ass. Oh, Stephanie, that's you. Oh, okay. All right. Cool. Now that I know that, I will keep that in mind. AD, now you're just okay. Now you're being a smart ass. I thought you were being serious. Yes, Sarah Fox. Corpus delicti is like the N word of the legal system. Yes. Yes. Yes, House 1808 is still alive in the Senate, so it hasn't gone away. Be careful, stay on guard. Stay on your officials and your representatives. Oh, I did catch up. All right, we're chugging along here still. Good. Dead BQ saying, what's the final outcome of Rittenhouse's buddy, Dominic Black? Dominic Black ended up pleading out to a very low-level misdemeanor offense, but in the meantime, there is a gentleman, his name's Johnny Walker Dredd, who's got a channel here, and if you guys ever want to see, hold on here, let me see if I can bring him up. I'll bring up his channel. So he is a guy who lives out in, as he says, he's like in Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, but he has connections and has had on his channel. He's a very good friend of Kevin Mathewson, the guy from the Kenosha County Eye, which I'm sure if you guys, I think he had a little bit of interaction with Nick Rekieta back in the day. He's very good friends with him. They talk routinely. Nate DeBruin, Photo Chad, Granbo, all those people you saw, he is on very good terms with them. They're in the community together. They're friends, and they talk about various issues that go on. He addresses a lot of different things, and one of them that he talked about was he also follows the Crystal Kaiser case, which is out in Kenosha. He did bring up something to about Dominic Black, and that's why I just say, here's Johnny Walker Dread. If you guys, see if he does anything you like, you might like it. If you do, he's definitely a good dude. I've talked with him before. But Dominic Black has had some issues. So Dominic Black has had things going on against him. Dominic actually has fallen on substance abuse, and he's currently in jail facing some serious crimes. Sounds like a lot of drug-related stuff. A few weeks ago, and this is from July of this year, Dominic overdosed. So things are not going very good for Dominic right now, and this is his give, send, go. I can't tell you guys to support it, but if you guys do feel, might need some help, you want to help him out. But yeah, of the people there, it's one of the people that things haven't turned out so good. Nero 89 saying, I thought jury nullification was the N-word of the judicial system. There are many N-words in the judicial system. Many, many, many. AD for $5. Thank you for your super chat. I appreciate it. I'm not a sovereign citizen. I'm a Moorish national. Oh, you. That's so. You're a funny guy, Sully. That's why I'll kill you last. Yeah. Oh, Graham is saying Dominic's out on bond currently. Oh, very nice lamp in the corner. Thank you. I forget where I got that, but that thing's followed me around for at least 10 or so years minimum. Kenosha County Eye posts that information on his website. Good. Dominic's currently out on bond. That's very good to hear. But like I said, somebody mentioned it, and I didn't know if people knew. Yeah, times are getting tough for Dominic. Things are a little hard. Jim, I don't think he's having a fun. 80's having a fun time. I enjoy him on here. I enjoy all you guys on here. So nothing wrong with having some fun. Man, that sucks. It does. But that's the it's easy to turn substance abuse when you get wrongfully prosecuted and the people are after you and trying to hunt you down and people want to kill you and want you dead. Because I'm sure Dominic was in a similar boat to Kyle. He's had to kind of hide for a while. Jim is saying Dominic Black violated the golden rule. He did. Never talk to the cops and always keep your mouth shut. Yes. Don't rat on your friends and keep your mouth shut. Nobody talks, everybody walks. I say that, guys, because it's true. Do not talk. Moms Incorporated. How is it possible in the U.S. for January 6 prisoners to be locked away for 600 days without charge or trial? Well, I mean, there is a reason I can give you, and that would probably get some federal agents to show up at my door. But the primary reason is because the government's corrupt and the DOJ is corrupt. And they are abusing these people. But it's because they can. And it's the main reason why the government does what it does is because they have more guns than you do, and you can't stop them. That's the cold reality of it. Why does the government do what it does? Well, it's yes, part of it is because you endow and you give them the authority, but the other part of it is because you can't stop them and they know that. If you could stop them, they wouldn't do it. If you could stop them, they would take away your means of trying to stop them and then go do it. So that's why. How is bail different from bond? For all intents and purposes, for what we talk about in modern parlance, it's the same thing. You're entitled to bail. You're entitled to have a bond set. Your $50,000 bail. Okay, your bail set at $50,000. Then you post a bond, and that bond is your promise to return. There's not really a difference too much. You may refer to me, AD, saying you refer to me as AD Elbay. Oh, you guys are talking about the Militia Act. I'll let you guys keep going at that. Meat Candy is saying, YouTube didn't give me a notification that I was live. Fuck you, Susan. Yeah, thanks. But you know what? That's because they know. They see me. They see me coming. 2 years' time, bigger than PewDiePie. Just you watch. So hold on. Okay, Harris, you were asking, if you get a concealed carry license or in a state where you can open carry, how do you legally get a handgun? I got my CC permit, so I passed a background check, damn it. I'm assuming your state would allow you to privately buy a firearm. So if you happen to have a neighbor or a parent or somebody who already owned a pistol, you could buy it from them. But if they've already owned it and they didn't purchase it just to give it to you, but they've already had it and they don't want it anymore and they want to sell it. You can buy a handgun. That wouldn't stop you, but I would check with your state law. That's a way you could do that. You may not buy a handgun from a federal firearms licensee, but there's nothing to stop you for a private sale. Is there any non-self-imposed rule requiring the whole court to preside over a case in the Supreme Court, that is? Well, when they actually hear deliberations and they issue an opinion, yeah, everybody takes, people could theoretically abstain or recuse them. Judges have recused themselves from cases. So if one of them recuses, then it's a 4-4 court, possibly. It's only 8 members. But you could have 2-3 justices theoretically recuse themselves. But otherwise, they're all going to hear a case if they aren't being stopped. I don't think there's ever been a Supreme Court where the judge has abstained, but they could, I guess. Nero's saying, from every study done, all it takes is 10% permanently to stop a government. Just saying, yes. And that's true. It doesn't take much if people stand up. The problem is, when you start standing up, people start getting nailed, and everybody's a gangster until it's time to do that gangster shit. So everybody talks about wanting to stand up to the government till the government starts Wacoing your house, and then your neighbor gets Wacoed, and you see what they're doing to people. I mean, that's where it's that's you gotta survive that part. You can talk about wanting to fist fight that guy, but once he starts squaring up with you, okay, you better square up with him and get ready to box. That's the part that people don't. That's when everybody backs down. So, AD saying bonds are surety bonds, and my gosh, you can still buy an 80% frame. 100% true. Yes, you can. Noel saying realistically, nobody's ever going to touch the GCA or the NFA with a 100-foot pole. Yeah, I didn't think. Never knew. Never know. I didn't think Bruin was going to be as far sweeping as it was, but that literally was a tactical nuke to legal discourse. So, Sean, do you know anyone selling a demilitarized RPG and rockets asking for a friend? Yes. I can't give you the names, Harris, but I will send you those in the email. That way I don't get in trouble for promoting firearm stuff. You still can't buy an 80% in some states, though. Yeah, and that is a crappy thing. That is a crappy thing. All right, so where are we at here? So we got to dang, we're just chugging. Okay. So somebody wanted to bring up the Alex Jones thing, and yes, the Frogman is back in trial in Connecticut for similar things now. We talked about it last week, and you guys may have heard me talk about it with these FBI agents. He defamed me, and it's so bad. And he talks to Joe Rogan. He's so powerful. The little FBI crybabies. Clip it. Everybody's a gangster until it's time to do gangster shit. All right, I'll clip that. I got to figure out when all this stuff happens. I'll have to get a transcript. Hold on here. Stabby saying, I got to show you my 0%. Ooh, I'll have to look at that. Yeah, cool. People are saying the court were saying increase justices and split the court in two. No, there's only, you are correct, Jim. There's only one Supreme Court. There are not multiple Supreme Courts. There can only, just like in Highlander, there can only be one. There can only be one. So, sorry, I had to make some notes on what to clip. Okay. But yes, the Frogman was in court recently, today, and had to take the stand. And was testifying, and this I thought was actually very, very funny. I guess I'll put on the U-boat hunting equipment. And we'll hide this. And yes, there was a...
You've called this judge.
Let me know if you guys can't hear this okay. It's going to be at full volume. So it's Alex Jones talking about what happened in the court. They were trying to grill him over what he did regarding the judge in this case. It's very funny.
You've called this judge a tyrant, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you actually use that word a lot with your audience. You call people tyrants, don't you?
Only when they act like it.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
And one way that you've been conveying to your audience that Judge Bellis has been acting like a tyrant.
And notice that woman's face, because we're going to see it in a second.
Is by showing her with lasers coming out of her eyes, right? You know you did that?
I didn't direct that. First time I saw it was in court.
Oh, so you've been watching this?
Yeah, I've been watching.
Okay. You could have just watched from the stage.
Objection, argumentative.
But you've been broadcasting your show during this trial, haven't you?
I have taped some of my show.
Let's pull up 477.
Is full?
This should be in already.
It is a full exhibit.
And what was it, Ron? 477?
477, Your Honor.
This is the tyrant you've been telling your audience about, right? Yep.
So yes, there we go. That's the hold on, we'll bring it up to...
This is the tyrant.
There it is. There it is, guys. That's so funny. Got the laser eyes going. Oh, we got to cover long cuck. Yeah, here we go. There we go. Triggered. Heading off to bed. Nice. Have a good night, Noel. Thanks for stopping by. Well, yes, he's very big mad. Yes, that attorney's very, very big mad. Not Prima, you're saying not every state supreme hears every case. They choose a few to bench at. That's actually, I don't know about how other states do it, but In Ohio, no. In Ohio, the Ohio Supreme Court, the entire court hears every case they accept is heard by the entirety of the court. Judges don't decide to really pick and choose where they are, and I'm pretty sure most state courts are that way too, unless I'm misunderstanding how you're phrasing this. But yes, all Supreme Courts in America, the state Supreme Courts, generally have discretionary appeal process as well, like the U.S. Supreme Court. Alex Cow's like, I mean, they ask for it. Oh. Patty, I'm saying, why would that be relative to this case? Just to show that he's kind of being a dick and being disruptive, and he's willing to pick a fight and just not stop during this case. Yeah, Alex Jones makes income from his show. Yes, ban.video. Ban.video. I'm hoping that sounded like him. Get yourself some Alpha Force for your brain. I enjoyed it when he called the lawyer an ambulance chaser. I heard that. Yes. So Stabby saying it must have gone in one ear and out the other. It's more Sandy Hook stuff. People are claiming he did something wrong and said, Sandy Hook never happened. You know, you can ask myself, but I think the reptilians did it. Basically, they're claiming that he said that didn't happen. These people they're all crisis actors. And then he also made fun of the FBI agents, and the FBI agents are claiming, like, some of the FBI people involved are claiming this is all his fault too, and that he's made them feel like crap. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You know, I talked to Joe Rogan about it. So, yes, Darcy, his attorney, Norman Pettis, is Alex Jones's attorney in this case, and has done a phenomenal job at defending him. And I think that's something that will go very far for him. Harris saying, how much are they going over damages? Just how much damages he owes? He didn't get yes, they held him in default, and this court held him in default as well. Which, yeah, it's really hard not to say there's a conspiracy or anything like that when it worked out both ways. But yes, they did that here again. So, damn, I thought a lot more of you guys would laugh at my Alex Jones impression, but I guess it wasn't that good. You could tell what I was doing. It's a big boo for me. Boo. Okay, hold on here. What am I looking for? Where are we? Oh, Kim Blandino. Okay. So I don't know if you guys actually, you know what? We will get to. So, where the hell is it? Hold on. I know you said you liked it. Hold on. Have we ever considered if Alex Jones is right about Sandy Hook? You know, here's the thing. He's been right about so many things. I can't rule it out, but I'm like 95% sure he's not right. I'll give him the 5% for now. I'll give you 5, Alex. If you can get it, I'm leaving the door open for you, brother. Leaving the door open. You have to realize you're in a sea of 100,000 Alex Jones impressions. Yes. Apparently, I need to talk more about the globalist. Oh, gotta get my voice back. I had it for a second. Yes. Yes, Soros and the globalists are turning the frogs gay. Even I know this, and I'm kind of retarded. I don't even believe there's a school there. Not anymore. They bulldozed it. Yes, the Alex Jones's right jar is pretty full. Yes, it almost overfloweth at this point. Moms Incorporated. Do I think Dershowitz stands a chance with the Mike Lindell lawsuit? I don't know, but I do think it's a little weird they took the phone and won't give it back. They can image it and literally copy the entire thing and give it back to them and then dig through what they have. This is just more of the FBI being dickheads. So, and being corrupt. Yeah, you didn't. Oh, you're making a joke. You didn't. Yeah, they leveled the school pretty quickly afterwards. Yep, it's just it gone. It got memory hold, and they claim it was too traumatic to have it there. But as Robert Barnes pointed out, yeah, stuff is we don't have stuff anymore. We can't count towards things and point out, hey, some stuff is here. Why weren't the doors set? Why was the school set in a way that people could get in? Well, then we find out they got rid of stuff and they squirreled money away and they spent it improperly. All those different things. Yep, gone forever. Gone forever. Gone forever. Sad part of it all. And a name of some sort saying they're bulldozing Uvalde before we can have an investigation. Yeah, but at least this one's got cameras and we can see the police in Uvalde were scumbags and complete little bitches. I bet I can walk into that police station and eat their fucking lunches. And I'm a big fat guy, so I could probably eat all their lunches at once. I'll just walk in and take them all, and they aren't going to do a damn thing about it because they're a bunch of little bitches. AD for $2. Thank you. I appreciate your support very much. Will the Texas law even the playing field? If it gets upheld, yes. They have to. There might be a Fifth Circuit on bank review on bank. Oh my God, that was so uneducated. On bank review, meaning the entire Fifth Circuit will hear it. Hopefully, they still agree, and then it gets going to the Supreme Court. So we shall see. But for now, yes, but that can change. So, where were we? Oh, I remember we were gonna talk about Kim Blandino. I know we talked about him way back, and if you guys don't remember, I covered his sentencing a couple months ago. Kim Blandino is a nutbag out of Nevada who turned some traffic tickets into felony attempting to tamper with a judicial official, and is now turned it into felonies, multiple felony offenses of intimidation. And he went to trial and partially defended himself and lost and was put on probation. And part of that was he had to abide by terms of probation and not break any laws. Well, recently, Kim was caught driving without a license, driving with someone else's license and a fake ID, and not having insurance, not having any of that, and also refusing to just sign the form agreeing to probation. So he did end up going to court today, and he is currently held in bond. And we'll roll that beautiful bean footage of Kimmy. So the state of Nevada is asking, and this is from our Nevada judges, which, good channel. They do all the stuff for Kim, and they've covered his cases. So I'll give them a shout out, and they seem to be cool. So hopefully they're not gonna try to cuck me here. Wait, hold on. Stephanie's saying, hi, Chaucerian. Where's he at? I haven't seen him. If he's in here. Yeah, I haven't seen him tonight. So that's weird. Usually he pokes his head in. Unless he's running around under a different name. But we get back to getting back to Kim. He's there in custody. In the state of Nevada, the prosecutors are asking that his probation be terminated and he be sent to prison. I like how YouTube's asking me to join my own channel.
That's the state, yeah, she's on.
I got it.
Oh, you weren't asking me.
And that's
No, I
Kim.
wasn't, guys. Okay, officer, will you state your name?
So
Okay, Mr. Blandino, it's my understanding you want to represent yourself, that you obviously understand that I have revoked your pro per status in this case, correct?
Well, the pro se status I.
So you are not going to represent yourself.
Well, I wanted to be reinstated. You did it on the basis of
I
I may
am not
disrupt
going
it.
to reinstate your
Well, I
ability to
object
represent
on
yourself.
I object.
So Mr. Gerston's going to represent you on the revocation
He
hearing.
can't be as effective as I am, Tom, with all due respect.
I'm sorry,
he can't be as effective as I am.
are you up?
He can't be as effective as I can, with
Okay,
all
all
due respect, Judge.
right, you've
He
made your
doesn't know a lot of
record.
these facts. They're
Okay.
critical.
That's why you have to talk to your lawyer.
I
So
have
how
talked to
is
him.
the state going to proceed?
So, Your Honor, today in front of you, you have the.
That's the only thing I don't like about when they do it. They put way too much stuff on the screen, but hey, that's how they run it. I got nothing but love for them for showing it, and they seem to be pretty cool about LawTube, commenting on it. But yes, there's Kim Blandino. He's generally a moron and will talk himself into prison going forward. Oh, hold on here. Whoa, what? I have not been watching because I'm trying to be a good boy. The Browns beat the Steelers. They did. Oh. Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on. We'll celebrate that. Not doing a foot reveal, Jesus. Okay, well, that calls for a new beer. Or as Stone Cold would say, a new beer. Anyways, here we go. Ooh, just a little cold. Just a little cold. Oh, there's a great story about it. Yeah, I'll have to look that. Haven't seen that. Celebrate what exactly they won. No, I did knock my camera over. Something else fell over when I got up. Yeah, fire a few rounds off like an Iraqi wedding. No. I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm not doing a foot reveal on here. That's going to be on locals. Close thing to OnlyFans. Doesn't wear pants while he's streaming. He has to turn off the camera to get out of the chair. No, I just don't want to do a chair stream. I don't feel that's professional. First time Sean's got to celebrate Cleveland. No, I get celebrated before. What are we? A common lawyer. What's the beer tonight? The beer of kings. The beer of every man. Budweiser. I'm from Pittsburgh. Oh, Stephanie. Girl. Come on. Esophagus freeze. Yeah, that was really cold. Oh. Jeez, like I ate a popsicle. Shots fired at Nick. You don't disrespect Sherkun like that. I'm just saying. I'm the new breed. I'm the new model. Nick's like the T800. I'm like the T1000. Pissweiser. Yeah. Well, I like to switch it up. Next, I'll probably be drinking Silver Bullets, but you can drink your hop milkshakes that are an Indian IPA ale that's been filtered through the shoes of Bangladeshi whorehouse. I don't know. I just don't like craft beer. Gray Jedi. No, I didn't see his case turn out, but I knew he had it. So he sentenced to a suspended 1-year prison sentence, 3 years of probation, where he's not allowed to film police. I don't think that's legal. And here's the thing. DirectD has done some dumbass shit when he's in court because he doesn't know what he's doing. But when he's been filming the cops, a lot of times he does it right. And I'm going to do something about him because he does, like one time he's talking about the guy doing a DUI. And he's pointing out the cops are not doing the field sobriety test properly. And they're screwing up critical parts. And then there's one of them where he gets assaulted by a cop and there's no justification for it. So I hope he appeals that because that is unconstitutional as fuck. That's journalism. The court may not like what he does, but it is still journalism nonetheless. And you have every right to do that. So I don't think that's illegal. I don't think that's a legal thing. Like I said, he may be a dunce cap, to borrow from Chili de Castro's vernacular, in court, but when he's on the street, I mean, he can be abrasive, but hey, you're allowed to do that in America. But don't have to look at that. $80 for $5. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate your support. Do you think the Browns could have beaten the Broncos? Those were the classic rivalries. I mean, they could have, but they couldn't. They couldn't make it stick. In that goddamn drive. Although I was like a 1-year-old when that happened, so whatever. Ew, Yingling is awful. I don't know what. Everybody seems to love Yingling, and it tastes like crap. Drink some PBR. Oof, PBR is bad. I'd rather drink Busch Light than PBR. Maybe I'll do that soon. Do some Busch. Oh my God, that's good, Mr. K. That's good. Stabby saying if you're really a T1000, you would use your mass to transform into a killdozer, not a lawyer. Well, hey, maybe I'm just biding my time. Biding my time. He put out a short video of today. Oh, good. He's appealing it. Good. And he put up a video today. Good. I hope there's a video of him actually in court. Because I'm hoping he does better than he was before. Because he was crashed. I did the stream with Runkle. He just crashed and burns the whole time. Do you think the cherry version of is a my 600-pound life person as a pancakes from the weight? Jeez. Yeah. Budweiser, because all domestic violence shelters need the business. Oof. Oof. I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it. That's funny. Oh, crap. Alexandra loves goats. What is my favorite area of law to practice? Criminal law, believe it or not. I think that's the most fun. I enjoy it the most, even though at times it's some of the most stressful, and there's times where it's got tragic outcomes and it can be soul crushing at times. It's the one where you're fighting the state. You're fighting the good fight. You're holding power accountable. I mean, it's one of the few times where you can actually do that in life. So, aviation law. No, I haven't done that, but I have also done. The only other thing I thought was a lot of fun was labor law. Like actual getting in the heat of dealing with like a labor strike and things like that. It can be a lot of fun. Did you see the feds won their appeal against Trump over the special master stuff? They kind of did. They didn't win like all the way. They got access to like 100 more documents. It wasn't like a blowout like everybody thought it was going to be. I mean, it's I don't know. People were panic for the amount of panicking and screaming people had. I don't see why they can run around screaming this is some big L for Trump. I mean, I still think he's going to walk out of this because it's going to turn out to be a bunch of bullshit. He was raised by a criminal defense attorney. Cool. A common lawyer. Tax law, too. It can be fun. I really thought you would have liked water law. Water rights, yeah, but in Ohio, that's not an issue. That's an issue way out west. In Ohio, we don't have water problems, so that's not an issue. Oil, natural resources law is fun and interesting in Ohio simply because there's not a lot of precedential things yet. Because Ohio, unlike in the West, we haven't had 150 years of consistent drilling and mining. So that's another interesting area when I did it for a little while. Nero saying Law Abiding Citizen was a good movie all the way to the end, though. I don't think so. I mean, that was kind of a big bitch tantrum session. Like, he got mad at the judge. Why? Because the police screwed up, so she had to dismiss a case. So, I'm going to kill you for that. Like, no, that was Gerard Butler acting like a little fucking crybaby. Like, I'm going to kill these guys. Like, then just fucking kill them. I didn't get the point of that movie. Like, he started just killing random people. Killing a judge. Why? Why? The system didn't work. And he runs around killing people for the CIA or, Western governments. So I'm going to act like some shitbag person from the Middle East, from the Middle East, from Russia, from China, insert wherever else you want to is bad. But, oh no, I'm going to kill everyone. Like, no, no, I'm going to kill him with a steak bone. I guess. I don't know. Thought it was kind of weak sauce. I thought it was bitch lasagna. Yeah, I mean, either they've got the goods on them or they don't. So, Mr. Case, like, it's funny we can achieve the goals differently. Yes, tens of thousands of. I wish it was only tens of thousands of dollars. And you could call Charles III a cuck on Twitter. I use Twitter to talk shit as well. But yes, true. Oh, I'm triggered. Yeah. Oh, let me take that back. No, it's a bad movie. It's a bitch session. That's what it is. So good to see you, Aris. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate your comments when you're over on Odyssey as well. So wow, it is 2 hours and 11 minutes in. I think we're about at the end point here, guys. So I think we're gonna wrap up tonight. And I think we had a great night tonight. And I apologize for last week. I was just exhausted, and I hope that was I'm sure that was painfully obvious to everybody. Especially when you do I gotta remember in the future not to do a Wednesday night with Nick and then stick all the way around. Because it can really tear you up when you have a long Thursday. So I'll have to work on that going forward. So once again, everybody, thanks for stopping by. Please give me a like. Would appreciate that. Guys, we do if you're new here and this is your first time through, we do this every Thursday at 9:30. I try to release stuff during the week. I don't have any trials scheduled right now except for Sarah Boone, and that's in November. I'm going to try to see if we could do something in October. I may have one of the trials I might be involved with maybe getting resolved and pled out, so I may have some free time coming up. Might be able to cover some of the Pike County stuff going forward. I did want to say thank you to my mods. Thank you, Jim, Matt, Parallax. I know Critter wasn't here. I haven't seen her tonight. I haven't seen Gabby tonight. Thank you to both of them as well. You know, I thank you to my mods. You guys do great work. I always appreciate it. Everybody sent a super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Everybody who became a member tonight. I know Curtis did. Thank you so much for that as well. And then, yeah, you guys, hopefully see you next week. This was a good week for topics, and hopefully there's a lot more. And if you guys ever do have a topic you want to see, comment somewhere in one of my videos, the most recent thing I do on one of the community posts, and tell me if there's something out there you want me to cover. I will look at it and see if we can fit it in. So with that, I will. The Ohio State Highway Patrol really don't like me. They don't really like anybody. So you're not alone. It's like Michael Jackson. You are not alone. So remember, guys, until next time, just because you did it doesn't mean you're guilty.